Finding just one name brand product like this one right here can make you $100, $500, or even $10,000 a month. And in this video, I'm giving you the ultimate guide to finding a ton of them, because I've personally sold over $5 million worth of name brand products that I can buy from websites like Walmart, Target, Walgreens, and flip for way more on Amazon. And in this video, I'm giving you all of my favorite sourcing methods. And if you want to follow along, the tools I'm going to be using to actually find profitable products are called SellerAmp. You can get a 2-week free trial of this today. And the other tool is called Keepa. The rest we're going to learn along the way. I've seen a ton of bad info floating around about what you can and can't do on Amazon, so I'm super excited to get into this with you today and help you make a ton of money selling on Amazon. When we're looking for those first products to sell today, we're going to start by looking at brands that basically any Amazon seller can get auto-ungated to sell. I know that's a huge concern if you're a new Amazon seller wondering what you are approved to sell and what you aren't approved to sell, so you're going to see that here in just a second. And as we go through, just keep in mind that we're going to be able to buy all of these profitable items from big name brand retailers, no having to work with wholesalers or buying anything from China. These are the exact strategies that I've used and helped thousands of other Amazon sellers make their first dollars online as well. So at this point, I know you're excited to start sourcing like the pros. Let's jump into it. One of the brands that you're going to be able to sell on pretty much any seller account is Colourpop. This is just a pretty classic kind of cosmetics brand in this case. And if you're not exactly sure where to start, I've got this full spreadsheet full of over 1,800 brands that you can go in here and test out and try to get auto-ungated on your account. Mileage is going to vary here because the more you sell on Amazon, the more you can get auto-ungated to sell. But a lot of times, even with a brand new seller account, you're going to be able to auto-ungate a ton of these brands and unlock a bunch of potential for your business. And as you're going through that auto-ungating list, if you're trying to figure out what you can already sell without invoicing, what you're going to do is go over to Seller Central right here. I'm on the Add a Product tab of the Seller Central interface. I'm just going to punch in one of those ASINs here. In this example, I just typed in DeWalt. And for me, I'm going to press Apply to Sell right here. That's going to take me to a screen that looks like this, where I can press Request Approval. And in my case, since DeWalt is a pretty premium, really good brand, it's still asking me for invoicing to actually get approved to sell this brand. If you get to this screen, don't let this stop you. This isn't a, oh, I can't sell this brand at all. Basically, it just means that we need to go to a profitable retailer or wholesaler, buy 10 DeWalt branded items and submit them to Amazon. If you go through this ungating process, you click Apply to Sell, and then it just says, congratulations, you're approved to sell it. And that means you can sell pretty much any brand on Amazon now without having to submit invoices for that brand in the first place. One of those brands that should work for all of you guys while I'm recording this is Colourpop. So let's just go ahead and dive in. I'll show you how to source through these auto-ungated brands. And if you want that full spreadsheet of all the other brands you can try, I'll leave a link down below for that. So let's just go ahead and dive into it here, and I'll show you what to look for. The first thing I'm interested in here, and pretty much any brand we want to source, is to specifically look at items that are on sale, right? If we can find something that's on sale, it gets, more expensive tomorrow. That's obviously ideal, because then we have less competition to worry about in the long run, kind of thing. So let's just go ahead and start opening up some of these listings here. And using this website, I'm going to be able to show you 2 ways that you can find more products in these auto-ungated brands, so you can start making your first sales on Amazon right away. I'm just going to start popping open some of these listings here. For the most part, I'm just opening anything that's massively discounted. Obviously, the cheaper it is, the higher chance it is going to be of being profitable. So these that are marked down from $9 down to $2, I'm pretty interested in checking those out. But I would assume between all of these listings here, we'll probably be able to find some interesting stuff here. Let's go ahead and dive in. And this is where our first paid product research tool comes in. This is called SellerAmp, and it basically shows you a ton of the search results for a certain item that you're looking at. So like in this example, I just clicked the Chrome extension and it automatically grabbed the title for me and searched it on Amazon. And this is really useful because it saves me a bunch of time of clicking back and forth to Amazon. And this way I can just quickly zoom in and see which of these might be profitable for me to sell. And in this case, we might have something profitable right away, right? So we can see this looks to be the same item to me. It says it's unboxed here. Looks like we're just going to get this one kind of unboxed pencil. And this over here says I need to be able to buy it for about $5.50 for me to be making a profit. And in this example, it seems like I can buy these for about $3.50. So these could be interesting. Let's open up that Amazon listing there. I also want to see if there's any other examples where we might be able to find one of these that we can buy for $3.50 or less and find profitably. So I'm just scrolling down. So here's one more, right? The problem with this is the best sellers rank. So this is the BSR, if you've heard that term before. The closer it is to 1, the closer it is to the fastest selling item in that category. And I typically try to stay in the top 1% or about 150,000. I'll open this up to show you what I mean and why this is important, but I bet this is going to sell a little bit too slow, right? So I open this one up here, and yeah, it only sells 9 times a month. If we check out the chart on SellerAmp down here, we can see a couple important things in the data. And this is what you'll need to get good at reading if you want to be a successful Amazon seller. So you can see that buy box price line has has been pretty normal, pretty standard around that $10 price point. So that's one issue, right? The fact that this is normally about 10 bucks means that we're making a little bit less than our ideal profit here. I try to make at least $3 profit on every sale. And I'm also noticing, see how the green line drops every now and then? On items like this, the movement in the sales rank line is showing me how fast the item is selling. So you can see it go up in sales rank as it sells slower and slower, and then it drops all of a sudden. That shows me that somebody bought the item right there. But when I zoom in on here, I'm not seeing too many sales at all. I'm not seeing anything that's super interesting. If we compare that to this other listing that seems a lot more promising, you can see how that sales rank line is like constantly dropping, going back up a little bit, dropping a lot more. That's showing me that this sales rank is staying really stable. There's plenty of sales going on this listing. I can also see it's an 11,000 bestsellers rank, so that's pretty good, honestly. And that's over 1,000 sales per month. If we plug in our cost price, which on this one is $3.50, we're gonna be able to sell this for, right now it's actually $13.81 on Amazon, so it's even more profitable. We actually make $5 right now. We can see how much competition we have, and yeah, so even like our cheapest competitor, they're at $13.18, which is that price that was pulling up, and even then we're making a pretty solid profit. So something like this is a great example of a product that you could go ahead and flip on your Amazon store. And let me just go ahead and dive into a couple more of these, even just out of curiosity. Let's see if we can find another product, and I'll still go ahead and break down how you can find some of these brands in a different method that might make a little bit more sense as a new Amazon seller. So something like this, I'm seeing a lot of like really high bestsellers ranks, and this is why having a tool like this is really useful, is we can just quickly decide if it's worth us digging deeper on a listing or not. In this case, I'm not really seeing too much that shows me it's selling. So let's go ahead and check out these other like lip pencils here. Let's see, we got like these overtime lip pencils. These are decently high sales ranks. I'm not seeing too much going on there. Sometimes it can be useful. I'm just going to add the brand name too. Basically what SellerAmp is doing is it's just grabbing this title here, and if we want to add the brand name, that might help us find some other search results. So we can see here's like a big pack of them. We can see if we can find those. Sourcing products in Amazon is all just about getting inspiration and diving down different rabbit holes, seeing what you can find. And in this case, I want to see if we can find this little lip alt or whatever they're calling it here. Okay, so these are okay, so those are sold out. That is unfortunate. Yeah, so usually that would be pretty close to profitable. The same, we need to buy those for 18 bucks. They're selling for 33. So if you want to be reminded when this type of stuff comes back in a store, it's always a good idea just to go in here and punch in your email address, and then your email address kind of starts turning into a rolling cascade of good leads that you can find. But just because those other couple products didn't work there, I want to show you just a different way that you can source through these items here. Specifically, when you have one of these brands that you're auto-ungated to sell, you've gone through this list that you can check out down below, you've figured out a couple brands that you can sell profitably. Let's just go ahead and open up some of these other storefronts here, because they've already done the work of finding profitable Colourpop items, right? And so yeah, so right here we can see it up on SellerAmp. I'm just going to filter down to specifically those Colourpop leads, and then we can dig a little bit deeper and see if any of those are going to be, you know, somewhat profitable for us, right? So these we have to buy for like next to nothing, so maybe the price dropped or something like that on them. This one right here we could check out. Let's see if we can get these for $10 or not. Sweet. So those are about 20 right now. So yeah, we need to buy those for 10. Nothing worth checking out, right? You can see how fast that is. Number one, we got a list of 5 products that another seller had already done the work of figuring out what's profitable, what's not, what's worth me selling, and then we can dive in and really just only cherry pick their best stuff. So this right here is that item we came from. We know that one is profitable. See, they got one Colourpop product, so that's gonna be the one we came from. This storefront, it looks like they're selling a couple other like auto-ungated brands. This is like a good gem if you made it to this part in the video. Is Stafford is typically an auto-ungated brand, as is Bombas. So those are both some interesting things you could check out there. I would assume, based on the fact that SellerAmp is showing me that this seller is selling a ton of auto-ungated brands, I bet if you went and dove in here and you can see, oh, what's Huel? I've never heard of this before. Let me see if I can get auto-ungated in this. And based on the types of sellers we're looking at using SellerAmp here, we can use the products that they've already found as number one, what are the best products in that brand that I know I'm auto-ungated in? And number two, what are other brands that you've found, fellow new Amazon seller, that were auto-ungated for you? And you can dive in and see what you might be able to get auto-ungated to sell there. So now that we know we can find big profitable name brand products all over the internet, I would suggest if you want to look for these auto-ungated products, look at websites like the Colourpop website, where the whole website is devoted to a single brand that you're able to get auto-ungated. That's going to be a good opportunity. Just go ahead and start looking through, seeing what's on sale, like we did with this brow pencil here. Another good option is looking at sites like this, where in this example, Sierra is basically just like a big clearance store, more or less, and they have some really good discounts on a lot of different brands. Honestly, the clearance section of a lot lot of different websites. You can find some kind of more small niche brands. The bigger brands like Nike and Adidas, they're going to make you go through that ungating process. But on these websites, you can find some serious gems that are brands that you can automatically get approved to sell. So let's just go ahead and dive in here. Let's just check out like some of the men's section here and see what they got in terms of auto-ungated brands. And just so this video is as valuable as possible for you, I went ahead and scouted out a few brands that I was auto-ungated to sell. Some of these I was auto-ungated to sell a few years ago. So you should be able to get auto-ungated in these. But again, it can vary on what they will and won't automatically approve you to sell. But let's just go ahead and look at a few different brands and hopefully at least have a few of these auto-ungated, right? So the first brand I want to go ahead and check out with you is actually Chaco. I know that's a pretty popular brand. You might be surprised that you can automatically sell that. But for me, I auto-ungated Chaco a few years ago. My seller account was not nearly as seasoned as it is now. And so let's go ahead and just start checking out some of these listings and we'll see if we can find any of them profitably. And right now is also a great time to be looking at this type of product because it's the summer, right? So sandals are very popular right now. There's lots of people who are going outdoors, going to the river, that kind of stuff, right? So let's go ahead and start popping some of these open here. So we are paying $41 on these Chaco listings here. And what I want to do is start using the first paid product research tool that you'll really want to have if you're going to start selling on Amazon. And that's called SellerAmp. And SellerAmp is going to show us a ton of data about the product. And in this example, it's also going to show us the data about the product that we're actually looking at as well. For example, we can see we got the Mega Z Cloud here, and it seems like that might be the listing we're looking at. I might also check out this one here just to see if they could be the same thing. Here's another listing for the Mega Z Cloud here, another one right there. And the reason why we want to do it this way and look up as many of the different listings as possible is sometimes Amazon will separate different sizes and things will end up on a different listing, that kind of thing. And you might find one product that is not at all profitable on one listing, but it can be super profitable on a different listing. So hopefully we can find a example of that here. And yeah, so this is what we got. We got 41 bucks on these. The highest price on all these shoes is about $73. So we can just do a quick check. Let's see, 73, we paid 41 bucks. Okay, we could be making some money. So let's go ahead and dive in a little bit here. So what we want to start doing now is start looking at the Keepa chart. This is the other paid product research tool. You only need those two. They're each about $20 a month. And in this example, we can see that this product has a pretty good history of going for about $52. Obviously, if we buy for 41 and sell for 52 after Amazon fees, all that good stuff, we're not super interested in losing money every time we sell something, but we can use this to find the highest priced black sandals in this example, right? So let's just go ahead and pop open the variations here. And now that this is open, we can start filtering down and seeing if any of the ones that we have in stock currently are those really highly priced shoes, right? So here are size 7s that are decently expensive. Those are the $73 ones. Size 8. So what do we have? We have 10 through 13 on this one. Let's see. The most expensive size we have in stock are these size 10s right here. We're buying them for $62. So we make $4 profit there, but I'm not really in the business of making 10% ROI. I usually like to look for about 35% return on investment on these products here. So we're on the right track, right? So we found something that we can make profit on, but not quite enough so far. So let's go ahead and see if any of these other listings we might be able to sell some products on. The other thing I'm going to check here is to see if these are actually the same thing. Sometimes they can just call it different things. It's actually the same shoe. So I'm just seeing if it has the same design and all that. So a nice little buckle there. And yeah, it looks more or less the same to me. Let's go ahead and check and see if it matters. Because if it's not really that profitable, it doesn't matter. We can make the decision then. Let's see. So we do have the solid black right there. I just want to see if there's any significant difference. It looks pretty much the same. The tread, let's check the tread there. Yeah, that's what I usually like to check just to see if it's like the same product or not. And in this case, it looks pretty similar. So let's see. We got solid black right here. So what we can do now is we can filter this Keepa variations chart down to only the solid black versions. And we can see there's only 2 of those on this listing. So we'll exit out and head on to the next one here. So this black listing right here, that one looks a little bit different than what we have at the Sierra website here. I see that pattern there. So that's probably not what we have. And then this one doesn't have the all black. So that's kind of the process of looking at one single product here. And now we'll probably speed it up a little bit so we can hopefully find something good together, right? So let's check this one out as well. The lowdown slides. By the way, that pop-up that just came up where like we can enter our email and get a big discount. That's another awesome way. You can do that as many times as you want. So that's another awesome way to add some margin to your business. A little bit of a tangent, but there's so many fun things we can do to make money on Amazon here. So let's see the Chaco men's lowdown. So a couple different versions of that. We're buying these for 25 and we have a lot more sizes this time. And we have the navies. So let's go ahead and check those out here. So variations. And now we just want to find, again, show me the most expensive navy colored sandals of this type. And we'll see if we can make some money. So let's go navy. We got lots of navy right there. 51 bucks. So if we sell for 51, we're buying for 25. So we're actually making money now. There's only one other problem here, and that's that Amazon is a competitor on these listings. So you see how on this chart, we can see that Amazon has a great history of being on this listing. They've been selling on it for a while, but we can see if they share sales with third-party sellers, right? That's kind of a misconception, is that that you can't compete with Amazon. A lot of times you can't, but sometimes there's some products where you can, right? So this is a good example of one where we would not want to compete with Amazon, because you can see Amazon has about 96% of the buy box here. That means about 96% of the time when a customer looks at this listing, they're going to see that it says that Amazon is in the buy now or add to cart button. That's basically where all sales on Amazon go through. So if you're not winning that button, you're probably not making too many sales, and we probably want to skip something like that. We also have, I was also just double checking the patterns there. So let's see, 51 bucks. So this one's a decent example of where we could maybe compete with Amazon. Seems like they haven't given up too many sales recently. You see how when I mouse over the Keepa chart right there, how it turns orange and it shows me that the Sunburn shipping, that small seller right there, was actually making sales and competing with Amazon. Right now, Amazon seems to be back on the listing, but this one's a little bit closer, right? So a week ago, this seller made a sale. 2 weeks ago, they made some sales. And so we're a little bit on the right track here. And let's see if we can find any of these that Amazon is sharing on. Want to keep it super transparent. So I spent a couple more minutes looking at 3 or 4 more of those Choco products. Wasn't seeing much. So I want to move on to the next auto-ungating brand that I'm going to put you guys on here. And hopefully we can find a little bit more success here. But that's what selling on Amazon is all about. Even as a veteran, it can be hard to find some products in these auto-ungated brands. That's why I'd really recommend to go ahead and get ungated as soon as you can. But you can start looking at some of these to find some products in the meantime. So let's do the same thing. Start popping open some of these listings here. Whenever possible, if the website lets you sort by either top sellers is a good one, because usually top sellers are what's also selling fastest on Amazon. Or if you go discount high to low, you can obviously look at the very cheapest products on the website. Let's just go ahead and start popping open some of these here. And usually a good rule of thumb with products that you're sourcing is to look for stuff that is on the like simpler side. Amazon customers are usually buying like the black and whites, the 1-packs of the vitamins, like the really simple stuff that kind of everyone uses around the house day to day. So I'm just going to open up a few of these listings here. And like I said, we're going to start going through these pretty quick so we can disqualify products and hopefully find the best stuff as soon as possible. So this one, great example of something we can just immediately skip past. And we would have to do a little bit more work if we weren't using a tool like SellerAmp, because we can see that a lot of these BSR, these best seller ranks, are super high. Basically, the closer that number is to 1, the closer it is to the #1 fastest selling product. And none of those are even close. Usually I'm under 150,000, maybe 200,000 if the ROI is pretty good. This one, let's check these out though. So these are 150,000 sales rank basically. They've got that other color, but I bet they have, yeah, they've got the color we're looking at. Unfortunately, we don't have any other colors here. And let's see. So we have the size 5 in stock at Sierra. Let's see, the size 5. These could be making us some money. Yeah, so 5803. We plug in that $30 buy cost right there. Yeah, so we're buying these for 29 actually. Yeah, so these are profitable, right? So we can definitely sell these. Estimated sales looks pretty good. The only downside is I noticed they only have one of those left in stock. So unfortunately, we're limited to making 15 bucks or so on that. Let's check out this next one. Also one in stock. Maybe they're profitable. We can just check it out real quick. But the fact that we found a profitable product on what, like the second product we checked in this brand tells me that's something we should probably dig a little bit deeper on. And hopefully we can find something that has a lot more in stock that we can actually sell. Same problem here, but just for the sake of example, let's see if this one is profitable. Let's see. So these are, what are these? 40 bucks. They're selling for about 66 right now. Pretty good history going for 71 too. So not quite where we want profit, although this is a great example of a product where you could compete with Amazon. I know we were talking about that earlier. So you see how Amazon's almost always on this listing here. But if we check out the SellerAmp buy box statistics, you can see that Amazon is only getting 7% of the sales. So a lot of new Amazon sellers might completely skip over products where Amazon is a competitor, but you know better, you can dive in on that type of stuff, right? So let's check these out here. And hopefully we have more than a couple of these. And yeah, in this example, looks like we got a couple of the 7s, at least a few, and then not too many of the 5.5s. But that's the nature of sourcing clearance. That's how it goes when you're sourcing products that are way cheaper than normal. This is also a little bit higher of a BSR, but since there's so many ratings, this tells me that the product probably sells pretty well. So let's check out these 7s here. So the 7s are 97. What were we paying? Oh, 51. Okay. So $51 buy cost. I mean, we're making about 23 bucks profit on these. Looks like this is another example where Amazon is on the listing, but as I mouse over it, you can see that buy box rotating back to third-party sellers. So we could definitely pick up some of these here. Not a crazy amount just because it is a slow selling listing, but I'd probably get 5 or 10, probably 5 just to keep it safe, especially as a new seller. You're trying to learn the ropes and all that, but that right there, finding 5 of those, that makes us about 100 bucks in profit there. So that's not too bad. Let's go ahead and check these out here. Let's see, pretty high sales rank. And yeah, we can just go ahead and skip right past. That just helps us disqualify products way faster. Let's just do a quick little skim here. Those could be good. Let's also check the best sellers just to see if any of those sell really well on Amazon too. So we can show you what I was talking about there. So let's check these out. So 8.5. I'm just going to skip these ones that have 1 left in stock just so we can find some really good stuff. Almost gone. So they probably have 5 or 10 since it's not saying 1 left. And honestly, it's not too bad if we're the one who comes in and takes the last couple of units, because then no one is competing with us, right? So we need the magnet/black colorway. That's what we got right here. So those are 83 for some of those other sizes.
sizes. We're buying for 64. So hopefully we can find one of these at a high price. Let's see, 11.5. What price are the 11.5s at? Not the wides, the 11.5 right there. Magnet black. So those are 104. We're buying for 64, was it? 60, yeah, 64. These are $15 profit. The ROI is like a little bit lower than I would like to look for. Let's see, so 10. Let's see if the 10s are any more expensive than that. 10s are a little bit cheaper, 81 bucks. So let's go ahead and let's check out these next ones here. So really, you can see how you're able to get pretty quick at this kind of stuff, especially after you just get the reps in, all that good stuff. Lots of feedback on these, so that tells me that these probably sell at least decently well. And let's see, so these are 10, 11.5, 12, 13, and the colorway is Bison Potter's Clay. Cool. So these are, it's like 110 right now. We're buying for 50, so there could be some potential on this listing here. So Bison, go size 10 right there, 84 bucks. We're buying them for 50. Definitely a slower seller, so we'd want to see some really good ROI to make it worth it here. Go 11.5, 79, that's fine. Go 12, okay. And let's check the 13s here as well. 84. So a lot of those are close. Like, you just really want some more solid ROIs than that, especially in shoes, just because you do have a good amount of returns and stuff in shoes. So let's go ahead and see if this other one had that same color. I think that was not the same thing. Bison, yeah, so it's not the exact same thing there. So we're finding a couple of those Keen products, especially those taller boots. Like, these were a pretty solid find because we can get multiple. We'll probably make $100 or so on that. Another couple auto-ungated brands that I was scouting out here, we could check out Super Feet, and a lot of these are on clearance right now. These might be like specific and all that, but let's just go ahead and check it out. I've never sourced a lot of these brands, so this is the first time I'm looking at it live with you guys, but I've been able to find a couple so far, so that's pretty solid. So let's see those right there. Might even just throw that straight into Amazon because there's a lot of different versions of this. Like I said, this is a new brand to me, but let's just go ahead and dive in and see what we can find here. So I want to go ahead and head back over to all these different things that are on sale. And like I was saying, we want to start with kind of the most generic looking, and it looks like these are like the main Super Feet branded stuff. So I bet we're most likely to find some stuff in this version, right? So let's go ahead and pop open the SellerAmp right here. And again, this is our third auto-ungated brand, so you should be able to sell these too. Okay, cool. So these are, we have like very small sizes here, but like a good size is 43 bucks and we're buying for 7. So there's a good shot that even though we're looking at a weirder size, there might be some profit, and it seems like there probably is. So this is that smaller size we were looking at. We're buying them for 7 bucks right there. And yeah, so we're making 387 profit. It looks good to me. There's like a bunch of different versions. Is this all the same thing more or less? Seems like it. I'm a little confused on these listings here, but it seems like it's more or less the same thing. Same size and everything like that. Just like different colors, shades in the pictures. So maybe you could clean out all these different listings and sell it on this listing right here. But there is another profitable product in an auto-ungated brand. So yeah, we're finding good gems here. And this, again, this is just one website. Once you go down kind of some good rabbit holes and you start finding some good brands to check out, you can also start using the Google button right here. That's going to show you other places where you can get that same exact product on sale. So you can see like Superfeet, they have a website that we could buy from. So we could start seeing if there's any kind of like coupons going on, right? So we can check Capital One Shopping. They got some coupon codes here. We can see what's on clearance. And it's all about just going down rabbit holes, finding brands that are interesting, you're finding profitable products in, and just seeing what you can find from there. Now that we've talked about auto-ungated products, let's figure out what else we can sell on Amazon. And I want to show you some major gems in this part of the video that's going to help you find a ton of winning products where a lot of people might not even see it. These discount methods are going to make you bank. Let's jump into it. So this eyeliner right here is $24, for example, right? Over on Amazon, the same exact eyeliner is selling for $40 right now. This is a 30% ROI right now. I'm not going to be complaining too much, but typically I like to hit that 35% ROI. You can see the exact same thing over here, how it turns green. I personally like to hit 35% return on investment. So every time I spend $1, I want to make at least $1.35 back, basically. So this is really close, right? So when it comes to products like this, especially with cosmetics, clothing, sometimes vitamins, those kind of products, you're going to be able to find some killer coupon codes. And to do that, I'll either check out free extensions like the Capital One Shopping extension. I'll show you right up there in the corner there. Or in this case, I also like to go ahead and just Google Thrive Cosmetics coupon code. And in this case, it took me to a site that I like to check pretty often called Retail Me Not. There's also other websites like Coupon Birds and plenty of other options that just list a bunch of coupons that are going on. And that introduced me to this right here. Just like a bunch of random digits. So I went ahead and plugged it in there, and that's actually given us that 20% off, which is really nice. I also saw there's like a bulk discount on this website as well. So basically we can get 5 of these for $91 instead of that $120. We're not quite as profitable as I like to be, but in this case, what we can say is since we're getting $91.20 and we're getting 5 for that price, so I can do a little bit of math in SellerAmp there. I'm going to be buying these for about $18 each. So every time I sell one of these, instead of being really close to the profit I like to look for, I'm way above the profit I like to look for. So I'm getting that 70% ROI, about $13 profit here in this case. So really not too bad. And just for the sake of example, let's see if we can can replicate those same results and see if either of these stores have any other profitable items specifically at that store we already know where we can get some good profitable items, right? So looks like they've got 2 products. Let's see if we can use this to find some other examples. Let's go ahead and pop open this listing. It actually looks like they have 3, so there might even be more potential. So these are $31 here. This one is 30 right there. Sweet. So let's see. So Serena right there actually is at that profitable pricing point for us. So $41. We're buying those for $18.24. So $18.24 right there. So there's another profitable item. Amazon is all about finding adjacent opportunity based on some limited time opportunity, right? So limited time coupon, limited time sale. We use that idea to see what are the other sellers who found this limited opportunity. What are they selling? And in this case, it led me to another example of just like a different color that's on that listing right there. And we could do the same thing, repeat that process relatively infinitely. Here's another storefront. They only have 18 feedback. We could see, seems like that might be the only one. See, it shows you the brands that they like to sell a lot of right there. So I like to zero in on the brands that are specifically on sale today. And we were able to find one more product that a lot of other people might end up skipping, especially since for this $41 price point, you need that coupon code for it to be super profitable, right? So it's decent at that 24 where we're getting it, but it's really good at that post coupon pricing that we're able to get. So sales and coupons, those are the biggest things that you want to take advantage of. But there's also some fancier ways that you can start to carve out some margin. And it really comes into play with stuff like this, right? Heat gear, that kind of thing, just like a long sleeve shirt. And when it comes to sourcing on certain websites, a lot of websites will offer down at the bottom, if you scroll down, you'll see something like this where it says sign up and save. A lot of websites, if you just go in here and say your name is mark@gmail.com, that's your email address, go ahead and sign up. They'll send you a 10% off coupon right away. So it's not quite as easy to get that coupon as just this one over here where we literally just, copied it. We're just gonna be able to use that over and over. With these coupon codes right here, you'll need to use what's called a catch-all. And basically what that does is anytime you punch in an email, you want it to redirect back to this email address that you actually have. Let's say you find this product profitably on Amazon. You need that 10% coupon for it to be good for you to be able to actually make money on it. And so for that catch-all coupon code to work, what we can do is we can just go ahead and add a plus after your email address, type whatever you want. I usually just spam the keyboard after my email address there. And then that's still going to send that email to mark@gmail.com. That's just how Gmail works. It will ignore anything after the plus, basically. We can infinitely generate those 10% off coupon codes. So that goes for pretty much any website. Whenever you see those big boxes that pop up, says, hey, get 20% off here, 25% off here. And man, I would have to make a million different email accounts. No, you don't. You can just use that awesome catch-all trick right there. And you'll be able to create those coupon codes and really have a big difference in your business on that kind of stuff. Another one that's a lot more creative that I love to take advantage of is stuff like rewards programs. So let's say you're diving through the Ulta clearance. There's a great Ulta sale going on. And by default, whenever you spend money on sites like Ulta, or just anytime you see a rewards program, a rebate program, anything like that. For example, I know Menards, they are a website and you can get an 11% rebate on any products that you're buying, right? So it's similar to a rewards program where you're just going to get a certain percentage of every dollar you spend back. At Ulta, you're basically going to get points per dollar you spend. You can spend those points on more free inventory, basically. You can start to include that in your margin, right? So a lot of times sites like Menards is going to be 11% off on that mail-in rebate here, right? Ulta is a little bit lower percentage-wise, but it's still the same kind of effect goes in. Another really good one, I'm going through the lightning round here of tons of ways to get discounts. And by the way, there's 5 or 6 more that I'm not even going to have time to talk about in today's video. I'll leave a link down below for a free PDF of the 12 discount methods that I use in my $1 million Amazon store. So you definitely want to check that out if you're serious about this stuff. But that takes me on to another thing that I love to take advantage of, which is gift cards, right? So going back to that example, we're finding a product at Ulta, right? We can go to Card Bear, and basically at Card Bear, it's going to show us a lot of different websites where we can buy discounted gift cards. So I want to show you what this looks like. Just go ahead and hop into this website here. It's called Raise. Now it's called GCX, whatever you want to call it there, but still going to be able to add some extra margin to your business, right? Because what we can do is we can go in and we can buy a $500 gift card. For example, today we can buy that for $440.25. There's even 15 of them. So if you find a ton of profitable items, you could go in here and immediately you make $60 just from buying that discounted gift card. Another thing that I like specifically about this website is, let's say I find $237 worth of something profitable. I can just go in here and create that gift card manually. It'll just go ahead and send that to me. And then when I go check out, I can just use that gift card. I've automatically made $12. And I like being able to plug in specific numbers here because you're not always going to want to have a $10 on this gift card and $80 left on this gift card and all that kind of stuff. Obviously here, probably worth it to have that extra 7% discount basically. And so hopefully you're starting to see, after gift cards and loyalty rewards programs and coupons, all this stuff that most Amazon sellers just aren't thinking about. They're thinking that they're just going to be able to compare price A to price B, be profitable, and scale from there. Unfortunately, a lot of times it's not that easy. And if it is that easy, you want to be the seller who's going in and taking advantage of of all these extra discounts so that you're the most profitable seller on the listing, right? So those are a lot of my favorites. And then we've also got Cashback, which is a really good one to take advantage of. So going back to that example we started the video off with, if you want to buy those underwear profitably and you want to know which cashback service should I go through to get the most cashback on this order, right? For example, Top Cashback is one of my favorites. When I go and place that order, I'm going to do so through Top Cashback here. Make a free account, basically just click a button that says, hey, I'm buying through this through Top Cashback today. And it seems like they're going to send you 4%, maybe 6%. I'm not exactly sure what that asterisk means here, but when you spend $500 on profitable products there, you're immediately going to get another 4% of that back. So cashback, by the way, is one of those things that's not always 100% of the time going to hit. Sometimes it just doesn't track for whatever reason. Sometimes they cut off the cashback. Not exactly sure why. I don't like to include this in my margin. So as you're going out here and doing your profit calculations, that kind of stuff, I really would not say, hey, I'm getting 4% cash back. Let me do 0.96, just because it's not always super consistent. However, stuff like these gift cards, as soon as you buy that, that is going to be profitable. So for example, on these shirts that we found these on Google for $20.40. I typically wouldn't really include that cash back. We found those at JCPenney though. So what I can do is I can go over here to Card Bear and I could say, hey, I'm getting 12% back on all these gift cards today. So that's perfect. I can definitely include that in my margin. And since that product was close to profitable, I think right now that what was the price? It was like $41. Yeah. But since we're introducing the concept of discounted gift cards here, I can say, hey, I'm getting 12% off on those discounted gift cards. I do times 0.88 because 88% of the full price. Now it's pretty solid, right? If it goes up to that price that I really want, I'm making $10 profit per unit. So a lot of this stuff you can take advantage of here. And especially if you use every single one of these and check out some of those other ones that I'll leave in the free PDF down below for you, you're going to be finding tons of profitable items where a lot of other people are just getting frustrated and they're continuing to skip over good profitable products. This is selling on Walgreens.com, relatively unassuming. It is $9 over here, but then the exact same product is selling on Amazon for over $20. In fact, it's $22. And when we plug in our cost into SellerAmp here, we can see we're going to make over $5 every single time this item sells. And where most people go wrong when they first start selling on Amazon is they're trying to buy brand new items from China. They're trying to buy pallets at a time. They're putting the cart before the horse a little bit, when the biggest and easiest way to scale on Amazon is with the lowest hanging fruit being items at retail price. And they're not looking for the lowest hanging fruit, which is these everyday items that are already on sale and people already want to buy. So with this in mind and using this exact product, I want to show you the strategy that I would recommend for basically any new Amazon seller. This is how we do a good amount of the sourcing for my own Amazon store, and it's with SellerAmp over here, right? So based on the fact that this item is profitable, we already found it profitably on a different website over here. We know that some of the sellers on this listing are also going to be buying from stores like Walgreens, Walmart, Nike.com, anything like that, right? And so I want to start clicking open some of these different storefronts, especially storefronts that have anywhere from 50 to 250 feedback. It shows me that they know what they're doing, but they're not like crazy scaled up and doing all kinds of crazy wholesale or stacking massive discounts, like stuff that's going to be hard for you to figure out as a beginner. So let's open up these couple sellers right here. And then all we need to do from here is just start figuring out what these sellers actually sell. So this guy right here seems like maybe they launched their own brand or something like that. They've got their own private label there. So we can go ahead and skip that. This looks a little bit more like something we'd be able to start looking through. So we can see all of the popular brands that they're selling. So this immediately starts showing you different brands that you might be able to sell and just opens your eyes as to what's possible. When I first started, I didn't know that people like you and I could even sell these big name brands on Amazon. And so let's go ahead and just start digging through here. When you go through these products, and this is a good example because I haven't really seen a lot of these before, you just need to start asking yourself, do I think I can buy it for this max cost option? In this case, I haven't seen a ton of these brands and stuff before, so I definitely want to start digging a little bit deeper and figure out, can I buy this air filter for $10 or less? So there it might be 17 bucks at Walmart. There's the actual brand's website itself. And I like automotive products, stuff like this could be something for you to look out for because automotive tools, all that kind of stuff, there tends to be not a ton of returns, and it is relatively, no one gets on Amazon to be like, oh, I can't wait to sell air filters, right? They all want to do the big popular Lego toys or whatever it is. So there's a lot of good money to be made in these niches here. And let's see, I want to grab probably the model number there. It's just a good kind of way to quickly see if we can find this on sale. So that could be it right there. It seems a little bit bigger. I'm a little bit confused with what's going on here just based on the pricing and everything. Oh, it could be dry synthetic versus air filter. See, you get to learn all kinds of new things. There's the Walmart listing for 17 bucks. So I'm probably just going to keep moving on here. If you have a really strong hunch that you can find something profitably, you're on the right track, then keep digging. In that case, I'm not really quite sure where they might be buying that. Let's check this one out here. So it's some kind of powder or something like that. So let's see. This might be the actual brand's website there. We got the unflavored. Yeah, so we're looking at 30 unflavored sticks here. There's also also a lot of action going on here. And this is also a good example of something you want to look out for as you're doing product research, is if the brand themselves is ever selling the product. So when we mouse over the Keepa chart right down here, Keepa is the other tool that you'll need to source products. 20 bucks a month for Keepa, 20 bucks a month for SellerAmp, and that's basically all you need. And in this case, we can see over here on the buy box stats, I can see that the Armra brand or whatever it is, they're actually selling on this listing. So I would not recommend selling products where the brand themselves is also on the listing. Typically not a great idea. They own the brand, so it's well within their right to come kick you off the listing if they want. You can get an IP complaint, all that kind of stuff. So let's just keep trucking along here, see what we can find. Looks like we've got painless tattoo cream, sells super fast, big increase in sellers here. So this shows me that basically the number of sellers is rapidly increasing. The price has already started dropping. You can see up here it was like $22. Now it's going down to 21 bucks. So we don't really want to be buying into products that are actively decreasing in price. So let's go ahead and check out this next one here. 41 bucks, 60 capsules. Let's see, is it this one right here? We can also right click and then search image with Google. That's another life hack I like to use there. Could be 43 bucks over there. We need to buy it for 23. Let's see. So 1MD nutrition. Let's check it out. Let's see if they have this listing over here. So liver MD is what we're after. So I was able to track that down here on their website, and it looks like we can get it for 30 bucks a bottle. What did we need? We needed it for 23. So at 30 bucks a bottle, we're making $1. That's not really the business we're into. You can leverage stuff like this, like with email signups. So I'm not exactly sure if this would give us actually 34% off here. That could maybe be the reason why people are able to buy it cheap enough. I bet with the email sign up plus the 6-month subscription, you're probably making money on something like that. So let's go ahead and keep heading down the line here. And I'm going to start skipping a couple here. So this, for example, Amazon's on the listing. We can't typically compete with Amazon as a seller. So we can go ahead and head on to this next listing here. This one sticks out to me a little bit. It's pretty good sales rank, just some coffee filters. And if we can get them for, looks like around $8 a box, we might be in the money here. So let's go ahead and check these out and see what we got going on. So these are 34 over here. Looks like the Keepa also shows a lot of sales up at 37. So we could definitely sell these for 37 bucks. So 18, 17. Yeah, so we want to buy these for 18, 17 bucks, somewhere in there. And then let's also, on this listing, we want to hit the Google option there. Going to pull up all the places we might be able to buy it. And we could actually be close. See, a lot of these are like $9. So if we can get any kind of coupons, discounts, anything like that, I want to go ahead and start popping some of these open here. I see a lot of different suppliers that we can get it. And so if any of these has a 10% coupon, we'll probably be making money on something like this. So I opened up a couple of those. I want to check the Capital One Shopping. It's a free Chrome extension. These are a bunch of like random coupons up here. So one of those might be a 10%. I usually like to look at like the bottom of the page, see if it says, hey, you get 10% off or something like that. Here's 4 of them for 40. So if we can get, maybe there's a coupon there. Members get an extra 10% off. Oh, that's store pickup. And those are at 10 bucks. So we want to keep going. Looks like these are at 10 bucks as well. Usually just like to check all the coupons up here on Capital One Shopping. So another thing that can be good with these websites here, and this is what most people aren't willing to do, is literally just go and check out. So let's see, like this one right here. This is actually a smaller website. I don't know if I've seen these before. So let's see if we can do a Berman Coffee coupon or something like that. And then we want to see if there's any of these sites that maybe list some coupon codes. So Coupon Birds is a good one. I like to use them from time to time. They list some good coupons. So maybe 10% off as well. So let's try this coupon code here. We'll head back over to our cart. And then, yeah, it looks like we can apply this coupon. So we can get 10 of these for 90 bucks. So we're basically paying 18 for 2 of them. So based on our cost price analysis over here, we really would like to see these for 16 bucks, 17 bucks to really be solid ROI, really solid profit. But 18 bucks on something like this, it sells over 500 times a month. We're like 0.5% short on what we're looking for in ROI here, but that's $6 profit. You can buy a bunch of those here from Berman Coffee and then literally just sell these exact same things on Amazon. Looks like we're making money here. And you also always want to make sure it's the same thing. So in this case, we got like the unbleached, and then over here, we got that exact same unbleached thing going on. Just because some people will be really particular with the products that they're getting on Amazon, and you want to make sure you're providing good customer service, right? So I want to go ahead and show you another method that I like to use to find my products. And this next one is something I probably do a little bit more often. Now that I've been a veteran on Amazon for a while, I've been almost 6 years, which makes me feel like a grandpa in e-commerce sometimes. So to answer the first question you probably have is, where do I even start looking for profitable products? I've just gone ahead and pulled up a big name brand website here today. For example, we've got Reebok.com. And on this website, you can see there's a big like 65% off sale. A lot of this is from like 4th of July leftovers. If you're watching this pretty much anytime during the year, all these big websites love having an excuse to run a big sale. And anytime these big major retailers are running sales, those create opportunities for us to go in and buy these products much cheaper than they're selling for on Amazon. And so if you're not sure like how to even figure figure out which websites to look at, a really good idea is to go down here to the bottom of the website. Here you can see we can just sign up and get on the email list for Reebok in this case. And we can do this with a ton of other websites. Think Vitacost, Target, Walmart, Adidas, Puma, any of those big name brand products that you want to sell on Amazon. Just start signing up for their email list. And I actually got alerted that there were really good prices on Reebok shoes today because I was on that email list, and they basically said, hey, we got a bunch of sales going on. Come check it out. And anytime I see a sale on these big major brands, that shows me that there's some money to make, because looking through websites like this where we can see lots of popular versions of their products. See, right now, all these products are like up to 65% off. If we're able to find any of these for about half of what they're selling for on Amazon, we can make a pretty solid profit. So let's just dive in here and I'll show you my product research process, and hopefully we can find some gems here. So typically when I look at these websites, I want to filter by a couple things first. Basically what we're looking for as a general rule is the boring, basic, very standard type products. Those are typically going to sell the best, right? So like these white shoes right here, probably going to sell a little bit better than like these funky neon yellow shoes, right? So a lot of this is just common sense. What do I think people will be buying more of, basically? You can see pairs of shorts right here. These are like 20 bucks, usually 35. Another really useful thing you can do on pretty much any website here is we can go ahead and sort by, and this is a perfect example, we can sort by best sellers. And we got to figure if it is a best-selling product, it might have already defaulted to best sellers, which is cool. But anytime you're able to filter down to best sellers, typically that's also going to correlate to what's selling the best on Amazon as well. So we can just start looking through this list here. And especially if I see some really deep discounts, so like these are 61% off, I'm probably going to focus a little bit deeper on those, right? Let's just go ahead and look these products up here. This is where our first paid product research tool is going to come into play, and that is going to be SellerAmp. So in this case, it basically grabs that title from the listing for me, and it also grabbed the color. You can also like highlight over any text and then hit the Chrome extension, or right click and then press SAS search, whatever's easiest for you. But that's going to basically look up the product and find all of the relevant product details, right? So we can see this is an 80,000 sales rank. So the closer it is to 1, the closer it is to the number 1 best selling, in this case, clothing and shoes item. And it's also telling me that our max cost for us to make a decent profit on at least this particular size is about 35 bucks. And that's about what we're paying, right? So this tells me that we can probably dig a little bit deeper here and we might have a profitable product right off the bat here. So let's see if we do, right? So on this listing, it looks like we've got some slightly weird sizes left, some small ones, some really big ones. And so let's just go ahead and poke around here and see if any of these are worth checking out. So we can see the size 14s right here. Honestly, like really big sizes, really small, the wides, talls, anything that's like hard to find sometimes is going to be your best bet for making profit. The standard products, the stuff that sells really fast, is obviously you want those products that sell really well. But a lot of times this type of stuff where you can only find like the 14s online, that type of thing, it really increases how fast that product's going to sell. So all that to say, let's go ahead and dive into the data on this product. And this is where we're going to start talking about our second paid tool that we need to start selling on Amazon, right? And this is Keepa. Keepa and SellerAmp are both 20 bucks a month. So overhead is extremely low compared to starting pretty much any other business, right? And this is going to show me how consistent that profit is on this item, right? So these size 14 shoes right here, looks like right now they're 65 bucks. So right now we make $11 profit. Our ROI is a little bit lower than I like to look for, especially in a category like shoes where we might get returns and stuff. But especially since it looks like 65 might be on the lower end for what it's actually selling for. We can see Amazon hops on this listing every now and then. That's what that's showing me right there. Looks like they sell out pretty quickly though. And it usually hangs out around like 67 all the way up to 80 bucks. So 67 bucks, we're pretty happy with that. Obviously, if it goes up to 80, we're extremely happy. We're making 24 bucks a pair. And so something like this, I don't really hate buying this product right off the bat. I'd probably go ahead and pull the trigger on 5 or 10 units of this, test out the volume conservatively. We're going to make about $10 profit per sale on this. If we're able to test buy 10 units on this and they all sell, which they should in this example, it sells decently well. It's a very standard color on this listing. That would be about 100 bucks profit right there. So let's go ahead and see if any of these other sizes are decent. So we got 8 and then some sizes around there. So we can just see like, all right, so that price is a little bit too low. This one's probably going to be, okay, cool. So maybe just the 14s on this. Let's see. So this one is not pulling up a buy box. Okay, cool. So 45 bucks there. And then we'll check these. I think we have the 6.5. Yeah. So 48 bucks right there. So none of the rest of these sizes are profitable. That's all good. So let's go ahead and dive onto this next example here. And we're just going to do that exact same process, right? So we're going to use SellerAmp there to look up the name. I'm also just going to add like a Reebok in front of it. See if we can find like a really highly rated listing for these. So we can see like these are 54,000 BSR. Not a ton of feedback though. So hopefully we got some other listings. I would imagine we do. We can also just straight up search these on Amazon. Sometimes it's good to see like all the pictures and stuff nice and big. So we can see workout ready shorts. Do we have the woven ones? Let's see. So in this example, it seems like we do. Let's check this out. So 31 sales a month. So definitely a slower seller on this one. And this is where we can dive in and I'll show you a quick hack to basically figure out super quickly if anything with like multiple sizes, or say like groceries and vitamins where you might have 2-packs and 5-packs, all that kind of stuff. What we want to do to quickly see if anything on this listing is worth us selling is dive into the variations tab of Keepa, and then we can go ahead and filter by that current price right there. You can see the highest price of anything on this listing is 28 bucks. We're buying these for 20. So obviously we don't really need to even waste our time or look at anything else on this listing, right? So we can quickly rule out that listing here. Something like these shorts though, I saw this one's at 31 bucks right now. So not quite making profit on that, but we're a little bit closer, right? So let's see if there's any like super high priced variations on this listing. This one also sells a lot better, so it's a little bit less risky as well. So we could see like these sell for 60 bucks if they actually have sold. We can see like the price jumping around a little bit, going from 38 or so. I also don't see any ratings. So this is anytime someone left like a 1-star, 3-star, 5-star rating, whatever it is, that's a good indicator that it's actually sold. And I'm not seeing many of that on this listing here. So probably going to pass on this. There is one quick hack that I will show you though, and maybe it'll be useful here. So we can go data offers tab, we can press include historical, and then this shows me everyone's stock count and their price over time. So in this example, it looks like they've been stuck with 5 units left in stock pretty much no matter what their price was. We definitely don't want to sell these for 40 bucks right here. And you can see right there on the offers tab, it's going from 46 up to 68, but I don't see any stock history decreases. So it doesn't really prove to me that this item is sold, no variations, that kind of thing. So even though this would be very profitable, I don't see much history that is actually sold. So I want to be pretty transparent, break down how that works with some of these items that might not sell for your business. So with all that in mind, we can keep going through here and opening up a million of these listings. You probably find some good success, just like focusing on like high discount variations and stuff. In fact, like I'm just itching here to dive in and that kind of stuff, but I want to show you maybe a slightly better way to source if you are on the newer side of selling on Amazon, right? What we can do is, based on the fact that we know that this size 14 shoe right here is fairly profitable, other sellers have already done the work of finding this item profitably on the exact Reebok sale. We probably know where they bought it from in this example. We can use that information to find a ton more products that we can sell in our own store. So for example, here down on the offers tab of SellerAmp, I can check out and see who else is selling this item. So I can see like they've got 1,000 feedback, 8 feedback, a couple hundred feedback. And so a lot of times I'll just start focusing on sellers that only have a few feedback, maybe up to 100 or 200 or so. And that tells me that they're not doing anything like crazy fancy with their store. They're probably just looking at this Reebok sale, finding stuff that's profitable, putting it on their store, right? With that in mind, we're probably going to be able to see some of these other items that are for sale on that same Reebok sale. Then we can basically just compare back to the work that they've already done. They've already found these profitable for us, and we can see if any of these are basically going to match up for us. So let's go ahead and check these out. And the reason I pulled these up instead of this one up top is because you see how the chart on SellerAmp here, the price is consistently going down over time. That's showing me that there's probably not quite as much opportunity in this listing as there used to be. Maybe it used to be profitable like up here and a whole bunch of people jumped on and then the price fell because there was just way too much competition, something like that, right? Down here, we can see that price has been much more stable. And I'm also going to have a lot more success probably finding this pair of shoes for 56 bucks or so versus having to find those for 18. Let's go ahead and dive in here. Let's see what we can find. So these right now are 99 bucks. Let's see if we can find seems like the Reebok sale right there. So let's see, these are like 80 bucks right now. Can't stack any other coupons or anything like that on top. So we can just do a quick check. Again, we'll dive into variations here and we'll see if we can find any profit here. All right, sweet. So going up here, doing the same process, right? So variations filtered by that highest price. Another good thing that I like to do, all these columns are filterable on SellerAmp too. So we can go, let's go greater than or equals to 3. So at least has a couple feedback. We have seen some history of it selling before. And if we're buying these for 80, we need to be selling them for probably 150 or so, maybe a little bit more, like 145. Yeah, so like maybe even down to 140, we could probably get like a 40% ROI if we're looking for that. And we can also see like these right here. There's actually a couple of these shoes that might be worth checking out. So let's see if any of these other colors are also on that sale. So let's see, like these have that grayish bottom. I actually think that is what we have, or like brownish color on the bottom there. Yeah, that all looks the same to me. So what are these? These are the 12 women, 10.5 men's. So in this example, it looks like the women's 11.5 are in stock, but they don't have the 12s. So this is a really good example where you just go in here and select your size, punch in your email address, whatever it is. And then whenever that item checks back in, they'll shoot you an email. Hey, you got a profitable product you need to go buy basically. And so let's also see if any of these below here are in stock. Let's see, we got like this reddish one, a couple of those. So let's do a quick skim, see if any of those are here. Looks like those colors are a little bit different though. So let's go ahead and hop on and check out the next listing here, right? So that's all this seller had. So we did find one that we will be able to buy whenever it comes back into stock. So that's not too bad of a lead there. And then we can also go ahead and check out like the other sellers on this listing here. We can see like this one who had 1,000 feedback. They've got a ton of Reebok items. So on this one, I'm probably just going to specifically focus on anything where I see like the price is a little bit higher than normal over here on that orange line that's showing me the new FBA price. And I'm going to be looking for stuff where the sales rank is pretty good as well. So these women's club C see. Let's go ahead and check those out there. I think I saw a couple of those were on a pretty good sale as well. So let's see, those are 50 right there. These Revenge colorway right there, those could be good. Okay, cool. So these got a lot of sizes in stock, and that's our correct listing right here. So these are $82. So if we're buying these for 50, we're close. So this is a good example where I definitely want to dive a little bit deeper. We've got the white ones right here, white chalk over here, white chalk here. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to filter this down to the color I know we have in stock, basically. So then I'm going to go right over here, go color, and then go rose. So these are $90 up here. And it does look like it's that size that we do have. These right here are the only ones with ratings. So typically I only want to buy stuff that has a little bit of ratings, or if we can see like new sellers hopping in and off of the listing, that's always a good sign as well. But let's go ahead and dive in on these. So these are the 9 women's. If we buy these for $50, we're making profit. It had a couple ratings at least, so we know that it's selling at least somewhat. You can probably buy another 5 or 10 units of these. Even if we're only buying 5, we're making another 100-ish or so in profit. Let's see, the 9 women's. So the 9 women's are in stock. So and this one looks like the 9 women's are in stock right there. And then back over here on our Amazon listing, this one looks pretty stable. Nice price consistency at that price where we're actually making a profit. So yeah, I'd probably buy 5 of these, to be honest, just because we didn't see too much action on that variations tab. And because the price was cheaper 6 weeks ago or so, I don't want to take too big of a risk on this. Even though it was like 100, here it was like 73. So what's our worst case? Like $73. So our worst case is we make $4. Our current scenario on this is we make 15, and our best case is that we sell for 100. So it's not a bad calculated risk to take, right? I would guess that we'll probably be making somewhere around $15 a pair on these. And that looks like it's a different size that is also in stock. So those women 10s are in stock right there. So sweet. We found 2 more examples there. That's probably another 100 to 200 bucks in profit on those examples. We can go ahead and close those out. And doing reverse sourcing is all about just going down these different rabbit holes, right? Finding this example led us to some profitable shoes, but we can also check out and see if these that are like way more deeply discounted, they're super similar to those other ones that were profitable. They're even like the same colors basically. And finding good products on Amazon is all about finding adjacent opportunity basically, right? Based on the fact that these are very similar, we can probably make some money here. Let's see. Those are the double C Club Revenge. Let's see. Could be those right there. And then let's dive in. I'm not seeing those super quickly there. Another useful thing that we can do if we can't find them here, I'll show you in a second, is we can right click and we can go search image with Google. And I can just like highlight over that. And then that's going to look up that exact shoe for me. So a lot of times this can help me find the Amazon listing. And even if it doesn't, in this example, it also shows me other sites that I can buy that shoe from. So if you're ever worried if the whatever product you're buying, you might be able to find a cheaper buy cost somewhere else, use Google image search and you can probably use it to source and help you find the Amazon listing. I wasn't seeing it in that case, so I wonder if it doesn't have an Amazon listing. Might make sense why it's so deeply discounted, right? A lot of people have a misconception that like if it's on sale or clearance or that kind of thing, it probably doesn't sell on Amazon. Oftentimes very not true. In this example, it might be true though. So we can probably go ahead and dive on there, but use that Google image hack. It saves me a ton of time and money, and I'm pretty confident it will do the same for you too. But you can see how this is very like just infinitely repeatable. And so I want to talk about a couple super important other aspects of actually getting these products off to Amazon, getting approved to sell them. I know that's a big thing that holds back beginner Amazon sellers. So for example, this pair of shoes that we found profitably here, if we want to get ungated to sell these Reebok branded products on Amazon, what we're going to do is we're going to buy 10 units from the Reebok website here in this example. We can buy these that we found profitably. We're going to get an invoice, make sure that it has your business information on it that matches your seller account information. And once we have that invoice, we're just going to go over to Seller Central. You're going to punch in like Reebok shoes. It's going to say, hey, you need to apply to sell this brand. That's where you'll go ahead and upload the invoice for this product. And you can just go ahead and keep submitting if you ever get any denials. I like adding like the tracking information. I'll take a picture of the product, anything that I can do to make the Amazon rep's job easier to approve that application to sell that brand. Should probably just go ahead and do that. So the first category that I want to break down is probably my personal favorite to sell even to this day. And I know a lot of people will tell you to avoid selling items like this that is in the clothes and shoes category. But the reason why I like selling this category, number one, going into selling on Amazon, I just had a personal interest in selling shoes, clothes, that type of stuff. I was already into that niche a little bit just personally. I liked cool shoes and that type of stuff. So I tended to know where to get decent deals. And the other kind of major reason why clothes and shoes tends to be used by a lot of online arbitrage sellers, where we're literally just looking at these websites and we'll find a profitable product together here today. This category is really good because most of the brands do no wholesale, so you can't really have a leg up over anyone else in the competition unless you're diving into these websites, doing it the right way, stacking discounts and all that type of stuff that we're going to be breaking down today. And all the benefits of that are also stacked on top of the fact that a lot of these clothing brands are sold by way more websites and they're all competing with each other on pricing, right? So there tends to be the best coupons, the best sales on brands where there's lots of competition between 15 different websites. But today, let's just go ahead and break down one of these clothing brands that you can get approved to sell, that type of thing. What I want to do is I want to start looking at this brand because they have a bunch of products that are on sale today, and there's an awesome 30% off coupon that we can take advantage of. And as we're going through here, I want to go ahead and just open up any of these listings that seem like they might be for like more standard products. Definitely if they're like have good seasonality, like these slides is a good thing to look for. We can also check out something like these shoes right there. And I don't want to get too deep into the weeds. Let's see if we can find a winner off of those two. So there's two ways you can go about this, and let's start with the first of the two, and that's going to be called manual sourcing, where on this listing, if we want to figure out what this product is actually selling for on Amazon, we can just hit the SellerAmp Chrome extension up here, and you can see that's going to load the search results on Amazon, and it's also going to include the max cost that we can pay for that product for you to actually make a profit, right? And so as we're diving in through here, I can see a lot of these are like 36 bucks. So if we can find any of these over here where that Amazon price is generally about double what we're buying them for, that tends to be where you start to make profit. So for example here, this is telling me that if we buy this for 28 bucks, we're going to make about 35% return on investment selling it at the current price of $55. So it seems like we're pretty close. Only problem with that is I noticed that says it's the wide variation. Those are not the wide versions of this shoe. So we can just go ahead and check out this list here. A couple other things I'm looking at, by the way, are the BSR. So this is the best sellers rank. The closer this is to number one, the closer it is to the fastest selling clothing and shoes item. And then typically I want to stay under about 150 to 200,000 when I'm looking in that category. And just based on what I'm seeing here, it seems like this would be our best bet to sell any of these shoes right here. Seems might not have any of the right colors just because it has that interesting like design on the back, right? Another really awesome hack that especially works really well with this category is if you right click and you press search image with Google, it's going to search for that product. And sometimes this helps me find the Amazon listing where like a simple search will miss it. And if it doesn't show up in Amazon listing, then that probably tells me that they might not be listed on Amazon, right? So that's the quick and dirty process there. And so I'm not super optimistic that we're going to find those. So let's just go ahead and move on to our next product here. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm just going to use SellerAmp to look up the title of this product. We can make this more specific if we want to, just like filter down to solely that color that we know is in stock. We got all these different sizes in stock. So let's go ahead and check out this list here. So we can see these could be interesting, right? These are about 23 bucks. It says we need to buy them for about 10. We're really close to that. We can also see these right here are 15K BSR. So those both sell pretty well right there. Let's see. So we got the rose golds right here. Let's see if we're buying these for $13.99 times 0.7. So we're buying them for about 10 bucks. So if we can find any of these for 23 or so, then we're going to be meeting a lot of good profit standards here. So let's check out. We're looking at the 9s right now. Let's check out the 7s here. Okay, sweet. So these are 26 bucks. Yeah, so that could be worth checking out, right? So we're buying these for about 10. If we check out the Keepa down here, this shows me basically like the past history of this product. And so basically this is showing me that it's pretty consistent that the price is at least like 24 bucks. See back there is 24 for a while, and we're still making a pretty solid profit there. So this would be something I'd probably go ahead and pull the trigger on. You can also check out the monthly sold chart down here on SellerAmp. It's basically going to show me how many sales this specific variation has. This is tied to solely this color, this size. So it's selling about 200 times a month, and the listing as a whole is selling about 1,500 times a month. So this is a pretty good selling variation relative to the rest of the listing there. And we could definitely go ahead and hop on and sell something like that. And so this kind of brings me to the second way that you can use to source profitable products is instead of looking directly at these websites where we found a sale today, maybe you're not really sure where to look, or you do a little bit of digging, you find a sale and you're just not finding much. We can use the homework that other Amazon sellers have already done for us to find the best products on these websites where we know there's cheap product, right? So today, awesome discounts on the Puma website. And so if we dive into one of these storefronts using SellerAmp here, we can just go ahead and filter down to Puma, and then that's going to show us all of the Puma branded products that they have in their store. So here, for example, here's that slides we came from. A lot of these, like the max cost is a little bit lower than we know we're buying these for. We know we're buying them for about 10 bucks or so. Seems like you need to be buying these for a little bit cheaper to actually make profit there. This one would be somewhat new to us, right? But there's a couple problems I can see. Number one, Amazon sells in this listing, and Amazon typically doesn't share sales with us as third-party sellers. And we can also see the best sellers rank is pretty high, like 800,000 means it probably doesn't sell realistically. And so I'm usually just looking through this list here to try to basically filter down to only the very best stuff that these other sellers have already done the work of figuring out what sells profitably. So something like this, here's another example. It seems like it used to sell for like 70 or so. And then pretty recently, we can see that the price went way down. See that orange kind of popping up right there. We can see how Amazon hopped on recently and the price is way lower, right? So probably not a lot of profit left on the bones there. And all this type of stuff you'll pick up over time, just like getting in the reps, getting in practice. Something like this could be worth checking out though, right? So we can see these are about $10.50 for our max cost. We know that we are buying these for cheap enough on those other listings. So it's just down to, yeah, it seems like right there could be it. It's just down to if that specific size is in stock. Yes, we got these, anything 7 through 13s in stock. Let's see what size this one was. And if this is a good product, then it proves the method, right? So yeah, $8 right there. What are they selling for? So these are $12.99. So that's great. So $12.99, 30% off. Awesome. So these are a $5 profit right there. And so that's the two different ways that you can use to source, especially like clothes and shoes products. This applies to pretty much anything else that we will be breaking down today. Use that on any website you're finding sales. And especially if you're trying to get the ball rolling, just figuring out what to sell on Amazon in general, just start diving in with a lot of these different brands that you can actually go out and sell yourself, right? So what types of Under Armour products sell well? What types of Jordan branded products sell well? Just like start diving into these storefronts on SellerAmp, figure out what they're selling. And really it's just down to doing that treasure hunt of kind of comparing back to anywhere else you might be able to get it. So here's like Jordans, for example. Seems like you maybe get those for 90, max cost is 80. So it's close to profit, but not quite. So I'm getting too excited here looking at these products because I want to go ahead and break down a couple more categories that I think are an awesome place for you to start selling as a new Amazon seller. And that next category that I want to break down for you is going to be the health and vitamins category. The reason for this is similar to clothes and shoes. There's lots of really good sales and coupons and all that type of stuff that go on. There's also a lot of really solid brands that people are having to basically compete with each other on. Site like Walgreens, you can also look at CVS or VitaCost or Vitamin Shop, any of these other websites here that sell a bunch of different vitamin brands. Because similar to those clothes and shoes, there's going to be lots of pretty good coupons that we can take advantage of. Like today, for example, at Walgreens, there's about 2,000 items that are buy one, get one free. Maybe they're buy two, get the third free. Plus, they're also another 25% off. And so let's just go ahead and pop some of these listings open here. And I'll show you a very similar process to how we can find some products here, just in a completely different category, right? So I'm going to use SellerAmp there to look up the name of this item. See 150 count selling for, these are going to be about $11 each plus 20% off. I can see that 150 count right there is sold by Amazon. We need to buy it for $2. So not quite profitable on that one right there. Sometimes we can open these up though, and there might be like a 2-pack or something like that that's also attached. Yeah, so something like this. So you can see that there is a pack of 3. And sometimes for whatever reason, the price is way more profitable if you do it on another listing, even though they could get it cheaper, just like buying the 1 pack 3 times. Let's see if that's true here. So $22 times 0.5 because they're buy one, get one, and they are 25% off. So it's times 0.75, but this is a 3-pack. We're buying these for $24. And I'm not really in the business of making a 7% profit margin, but we can see we're already getting somewhere close, right? We're a little bit profitable, just not quite enough. And that's a good problem to have, right? It tells me that there's probably some more profitable items that we just haven't quite found yet. So for example, let's just go ahead and do the exact same thing with this other vitamin branded product here, and we'll see if these might be worth checking out. So let's see, we got the 80 count here. Here's a pack of 5 for $50. Doing some rough mental math, it seems like it could be good, but let's double check. So yeah, so these are $10 each times 0.5 because they're buy one, get one, and then another 25% off for that coupon. We're buying 5 of them. And yeah, these are actually pretty solid, right? So these are the 80 count. Let's just make sure everything's the same. Yeah, picture looks exactly the same. Yeah, it's the same product there. So yeah, this pack of 5. So yeah, on this product, this pack of 5. And this is also a good example of the types of, especially vitamins and groceries and those types of products. I tend to have a lot of success in like multi-packs or bundling different types of the same brand together, that type of stuff, right? So like the pack of 5 is looking pretty profitable here. And that's a good general rule of thumb is look for the multi-packs, look for anything where the listing's a little bit more complicated than just like a straight up one-to-one, because those are going to be like the real gem products that anyone who's relying on just like automated software and anything like that, those are always going to get missed. And if you're going through here and doing the work properly, like you should be, you're going to find some products like this, right? So these are almost a double up. They're an 80% ROI. So that's a pretty solid find there. And the same exact thing goes for sourcing in this category too, right? So now that we've looked at one brand that maybe we can sell on Amazon, what other grocery products, what other supplement type products can we sell? So we can filter this down to whatever we want here. So we can filter this down. So for example, on this store, I like filtering down to the category I'm looking at here. Let's say I don't know anything about vitamin brands, right? If you're brand new, you probably don't either, right? So just start diving into some of these storefronts here, hit that health and household button, and we can see, okay, we came from Nature's Bounty, but one a day could be worth checking out, right? And Nature Made, and we're going to start seeing a lot of different brands. Seems like they're really crushing it on those brands there. We can open up some other storefronts here. So like Dr. Scholl's, 21st Century. Yeah, actually, I've never even heard of this brand before. So I'm learning new stuff with you guys live, right? Like literally just digging through these storefronts, and this stuff moves. That's crazy. Yeah. You can see like the sales rank on this is in the couple thousand range, 10,000. So yeah, these really sell super well. Maybe you can sell it, maybe you can't, but just looking through these storefronts, getting a feel for what other people are having success with is going to teach you a lot when you're trying to dive into these different websites, especially like this, where there's 2,000 items, lots of different brands. Some stuff's going to be good, some stuff's not. And if we just start building that back of mind knowledge by putting in the reps and looking through storefronts, then it's about to get a whole lot easier. And so the third category that I want to break down for you guys that I think is an awesome start as Amazon sellers, and ignore the website, they're out of pocket today. I have no idea what's going up, but I just want to break down the beauty category because that's the other really good kind of beginner friendly type products. And let's just go to the sales section of Colourpop, for example. So Colourpop's a brand that is auto-ungated for most sellers. So if gating on products is holding you back, number one, all the brands that we're looking at today, you can just submit an invoice to Amazon and get approved to sell. And number two, there's going to be a lot of brands like Colourpop that might be an auto-ungate, where all you have to do is go to Amazon, press apply to sell, and it automatically approves you to sell that product. And we'll do the exact same thing here. We can just check out if we can find a profitable product here within a couple items. At this point, hopefully you get the general gist for how we're sourcing on these, but we might as well just dive in. And especially with beauty products, looking through storefronts is really valuable. So I'm just going to add like the brand name there. So let's see, like Holiday. And right here, I see this is a 7K BSR. This one's a lot higher. Sometimes they have, yeah, so this is a good example, right? So it's got a lot of different colors all on the same listing. And you can see like this one, for example, is the only one that is not $7. Like, do they have that purple one here? Nope, I don't think so here. So that's totally good. Let's check this out. The It's All Good palette here. Yeah, checking this one out. I'm not seeing too much here either. This is why reverse sourcing is good. So if you're not like super familiar with looking at a specific brand, then you can just cheat your way to becoming familiar with it, right? So let's see if this one's any good. So this, like the inks liners or whatever. So yeah, on this, I'm not seeing too much, but probably what I'd do here is just start diving into storefronts to people who do Colourpop, right? So now that you're watching this, you know an okay brand to start out with. So here's 9 Colourpop products that they found profitably, and we can start to see if any of these might be worth checking out. So we can see we were looking at some of those around like the $4.50 range. It's good to just keep that back of my knowledge in terms of what they are charging for similar items. And you can see here like max cost is like 39 cents, you know, $1.50. Probably not going to be worth checking out. Here's another bundle listing. So like I was talking about, these listings where you bundle like different stuff together, it's hard for people to find that listing. So it could be a lot more profitable for you to sell. Based on what's in this palette, I'm going to assume it's discontinued now. It's probably like back when The Mandalorian was popular. But similar to what we were doing before, maybe I don't find anything in Colourpop today. I can still filter down to beauty and personal care and see what's this brand here. I've never come across this brand. So let's see. These are like 39 bucks. They're selling for 55. So if we can find like a discount code here, we'll probably be making some money. Yeah, jumping back over here. Okay, those are like 40 bucks there. So yeah, maybe not super arbitrage friendly here. I see most of the prices are around like 39 bucks for a smaller bottle. To me, this looks like a product where you could, you know, maybe call up the brand and ask if you can buy directly from them or buy directly from one of their distributors. All this type of stuff is just about figuring out products that sell well. And then whether you're looking at websites or calling up the brands, asking to get it that way, whatever you can do to get those products profitably. I like doing websites. Other people like calling wholesalers and that type of stuff. It's your business. You run it however you want. Something like this, you probably have to call the wholesaler if I had to guess. But at the end of the day, looking at makeup and all that kind of stuff, there's just a ton of different brands that we can look at and compare against each other. And also, while you're outsourcing through all these categories, let's say you're looking at makeup and you find something at Ulta. I want to show you a major gem here. And this is using Cardbear. And basically what this lets us do is go to any of these kind of like trusted websites on here, and we can just go and buy a gift card for that website at a discount, right? So let's just go ahead and what's the biggest value here, right? So I don't like doing the $10 gift cards. It's just like annoying, but you know, when you're sourcing Ulta, you're looking through clearance, you find something profitable and you might as well make some extra money. Cause for example, here you can buy an online gift card that's worth like 440 bucks. You can pay 420 bucks, right? So you make 27 bucks in margin right away, right there, just from buying the gift card. Not even to mention that you're buying something that's obviously going to be profitable, but you obviously just want to stack all these types of discounts, right? Another really good one to take advantage of is called Cashback Monitor. So like, for example, we were finding some profitable items at Puma together, right? So you can jump in here and say, hey, you know, retail me not, they might be giving me 16% cash back and Be Frugal might be giving me 10%. And it just shows you the website that's going to offer you the most money back. All you have to do is check out through one of these websites. They're all free to use. Like Top Cashback is probably my favorite. Be Frugal is also really good, but it's just super, super important as you're figuring out like what to sell. Make sure you're also figuring out how to buy it as cheaply as possible. So that's a major free game there. Gift cards, cashback, coupons is like the more obvious one, like we were looking at with the sale over here. But hopefully this gives you a much more clear outline as to what to actually look for when you're trying to find products to sell. So what I want to do when I'm looking at this webpage here is typically, especially if I can filter down to everything that's on sale, we don't need to look at 4,000 items that are on sale here at Adidas. But what I do want to do is go ahead and filter by top sellers. Usually if you're filtering by top sellers, those are probably going to also be the best selling items of that type over on Amazon. And so we're probably going to see some really good sales ranks, which is basically how Amazon tracks how fast things sell on Amazon. So let's go ahead and open up this first listing here. I see that usually this pair of shoes is $75 and today it's only $30, right? So that should make a very good good opportunity for us to go in and make some profit on these shoes. So what we want to do, open up this listing here, then we can go ahead and click the SellerAmp Chrome extension. And this is going to go ahead and populate these search results as though you had just searched this term on Amazon. And now what we want to do is make sure that we've found the correct listing for our product. In this case, looks like that is the Cloud Foam 2.0. I think these are probably the 1.0. There's no specification here. So I want to open up this listing. That looks pretty similar to me with the little white dots there. And then I also want to open up this one, and I'm probably also going to open up this listing here. That's a completely different shoe. We can also go ahead and scroll down and see if there's any more. But the reason why it's a good idea to open up all the potential listings is sometimes we'll find the same color listed on multiple listings, and one might be way more expensive, way more profitable, and the other one would be a complete skip, right? So it's a really good idea to open up all potential listings that your product could be on, and then we can filter it down from there. So for example, right here, we've got this like whitish color, this blackish, and then like a pinkish one. So let's see if any of those are on here. It could be this one right there. No, it's like a little grayer. Let's see, could be that. And I think those are still a little bit different there. So we'll just go ahead and keep moving on here. So really what we want to look for is the specific sizes and colors that are in stock over at Adidas, the $30 ones. So as I'm looking through here, I see these very classic. The types of products that typically sell well on Amazon are going to be like the boring options, the very standard, very plain. That's going to be what's the most popular. So for example, the classic black and white right here, that is going to sell pretty well over on Amazon just because it's the most classic type color, right? So I'm going to check through here and see if we can find that like black and white version. And it seems like this is it right here. So perfect. This is a 10K bestsellers rank, which is pretty good. That means it is the 10,000th best selling shoe item in that category. And so there's probably going to be some potential for us to go in here and make some money. So we got a decent amount of these sizes in stock here. And this is where our other product research tool, Keepa, is going to come into play. Because what we want to do here is go down to variations. And I only want to specifically look for this color. A lot of the other colors on this listing over here were out of stock. We got a bunch of the colors of this like very classic black and white that are actually in stock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that color name. And then I'm going to go down here to variations, and over on color, I'm going to just go ahead and paste that. And then bang, we can see all of the listings that are in that particular color. And I also want to go ahead and filter this by highest new current price. So right now, all of these shoes right here are like 75 bucks, 75, right around there. So let's see if we can make any money selling these. So size 11 first on the list, it's out of stock. Size 9.5 right there in the women's. And we actually do have this one in stock. And then over here on Adidas, we actually do have the 9.5s in stock, but definitely we'll look closer into those. Let's see, 7.5s are gone. That's okay. 9, 10, 8.5. See if we got any of those. So we do have the 10s as well. I think the 8.5s are gone. And then it's like smaller sizes from there. I'm just going to pop that open right there. The 10s. We've also got 5s and 7s, which are both in stock as well. So let's do a little bit of a deep dive here and see if we can figure out if this is actually selling. Because it's honestly a weird Keepa chart example to start with. Basically, I think what's happened here is like this particular size got split onto its own listing, and now it's back on a much better listing. So honestly, I'd expect this product to start selling even faster than it already was. But the way we can figure out how fast it does sell is using the data offers tab of Keepa down here. We can see the exact stock count and price of all the sellers on the listing over time. And for example, something like this, we can see this shoe sensation store right here. We can see them very naturally making a couple sales every day or so. Let's see. For example, like March 26th, they had 256 of them in stock. And then basically a month later, they were down to 225. So this number is fairly accurate in this case. They did about 30 sales in the last month. We could also see if there's any sellers who are selling a bunch in the like history of the item. So I'll filter by sold right there. And we can see a couple different sellers. He sold pretty quick. So 5432 right there. This seller's going 321. So it doesn't seem like it was the most popular item for whatever reason. There hasn't been a ton of sellers on this listing, but it does actually sell. And based on a lot of this test data here, I'd probably go ahead and order about 10 units of this, especially considering when we plug that in here, we're buying them for 30. The current price is $75, which is a massive profit. Our worst case scenario here, we're selling them for, it seems like $50 to $55 based on the past. So that it would be a 29% ROI. And I think this is going to be a fantastic example of where to show you how to boost your margins even further. And that's going to be by using discounted gift cards, right? So we can use a site called Cardbear. In this case, we can look up Adidas as well, right? And it's going to show us all of the other potential places where we might be able to go and buy a discounted gift card. In this example, I know it's telling us to wait here, like the average discount's usually way higher. It's honestly super low for Adidas, but it looks like there's probably a good amount of people taking advantage of this sale, buying tons of profitable items over here. But we can still look at like Card Cash, or I really like to look at Raise as well. And when we go over here to Raise, we can see that we can just go ahead and instantly buy a 5% back gift card from Raise on this pair of shoes right here. If we want to go ahead and buy 10 pairs of these 9.5s right here, it's going to cost us 300 bucks. So I would go over here to Raise and then buy, I think 250 is the biggest gift card they do. Yeah. So 250 bucks, you can buy a couple of those gift cards at that size, and instantly you're making $12 $12.50 in extra profit on this item, which basically is a 5% discount, right? So if we go back over to this item where typically I want to see a 35% ROI, seems to be a pretty decently fast selling item. But with that extra 5% that we just made ourselves with the discounted gift card, now our ROI meets the standards that we want to look for. Profits over 10 bucks, which is also great. And so now this is definitely an item that I would definitely say buy at least 5 or 10 units of this type of product. So let's go ahead and keep diving through some of these listings, see how much profitable product we can find. And I'm also still going to be breaking down how to actually get the approval to sell these brands on Amazon and how to make your first sales as soon as possible. So we can do the same process with these other listings right here. So the size 10 we also had in stock, but this one I think is an example of something I would probably pass on. The last one was worth taking a shot on. This one we can see using Keepa right here. We can see the past history of this item, and usually Amazon themselves sell this product. The price is anywhere from like 38 bucks, 50 bucks. So our worst case scenario on this item is much worse than that last item, where like our worst case scenario was selling for 50 bucks. We still make a little bit of money. Our worst case scenario here is that Amazon comes back and the price is down to $32 or $35. And we're definitely not in the business of losing almost $10 per unit. So that would be something I'd probably pass on. Here we got the size 5s. Size 5 is obviously not going to be the fastest seller in the world, but we can validate if it does or doesn't sell, again, using that data offers tab here. And when we filter by sold 30 days, I'm seeing basically nothing. When I filter on the sold chart, I can see this seller that's had 1 unit for quite a while. Possible that they could be hiding their stock here, but just based on the fact that it is a very unpopular size, the size 5, nothing really showing there, I'd probably pass on that as well. So hopefully you can see like what a good Keepa offers chart looks like compared to bad ones where we got this, see lots of sales happening over time. There's more people, stock count decreasing. That last one we saw basically nothing. So size 7s, let's check these out. These are like $50 is our worst case scenario. Amazon sold on these for a little bit, but really not too much to worry about. So I think these might be worth taking a shot on if we can see that they sell. And so again, we'll go include historical. We will sort by sold 30 days. And this is another good example too, I think actually, where we can see lots of nice natural sales happen, and we can see other sellers making a couple sales here as FBA sellers. And we can also see that if we want to charge $60 as our price, we have proof right here that we could at least sell 2 units of this product. Ideally, we'd sell a lot more than 2. This guy was only in stock for what, like a week or 2. So probably if you stock up, you buy 10, you buy 15 to 20, you're in stock for a while. And we have proof that people actually want to pay $60 a unit for this item because this seller's stock count went away as their price was $60 right there on the price history graph. So this could be worth maybe a smaller order than this 9.5 right here. And so there's 2 good examples of profitable products that we could find. And over on Adidas, that was the very first product that we opened up too, right? So I'm sure if we do that exact same process, we'll find a ton more winning products. But this sourcing method I just showed you is called manual sourcing, and it's how we found a good amount of those over 5,000 products that we found. But I also want to show you the other sourcing method, and this one might be even more beginner friendly for you to go out and start finding products. So when we're finding products, we're either looking directly at the website or we're using SellerAmp right down here. And so since we know that we already found this particular product profitably over at the Adidas website, we know that there's going to be other profitable Adidas products in the storefronts of the sellers who are selling this product, right? So somebody else has already done the research of noticing that this product is profitable. So if we want to find even more profitable products based on this one single example, you can do the exact same thing. Start from this example here, start from any of the other examples on product sourcing videos on my channel, and we can look at the other sellers on this graph, right? So down here on the offers chart of SellerAmp, we just want to open one of these offers here. Usually I like to look for a seller with a couple hundred feedback. This seller is going to be a pretty good sized seller here. So I bet they're going to have a lot of items for us to look at. This is even more effective when you can look at small sellers, but this is still a good example. We can filter down to Adidas. If we click any of these brands, we're only going to see that brand that we clicked on. And since we know that Adidas has a really good sale today, it's probably smart for us to just focus on looking at the Adidas products that they've found. And now that we know where they're probably buying some of their cheap inventory from, it's a game of asking ourselves, do I think I can buy this item for the max cost listed for me to hit my ideal ROI? So this number for me is calculating the price that I want to buy it for us to make 35% ROI or a $3 profit. Both of those things are going to need to be true there. And so as I'm looking through here, I'm having a quick mental conversation with myself. Do I think I can buy it for this max cost? So a lot of these probably can't buy socks for 34 cents, probably can't buy a bag for $1.27. Maybe maybe I can get these for 31 bucks. So we could go ahead and Google this and then open up the Amazon page using those buttons there. So right here, this is probably going to take us straight to that Adidas listing. And then over on Amazon, we want to see, yeah, so these are 60 bucks. A lot of times Amazon is on these. So we'd want to really find a solid deal. Honestly, just because Amazon's on these so much, it's probably not worth looking into super deeply. The reason why and how we can tell Amazon is on it is on the Keep It chart. When I'm looking at it, I can see it's like solid orange. And then I can also use SellerAmp down here. I can go down to the buy box statistics. And this shows me over the last 90 days, Amazon has hogged about 92% of the sales on this listing. I'm not really interested in fighting for my 8% of the sales on a listing. So you can honestly probably just go ahead and clicking through this seller storefront here. So I would really love to find something that Amazon is not on. So we can see all of the Keep It charts over here is showing me which products Amazon is already selling. And for whatever reason, this seller loves competing with Amazon. And I'm seeing a ton of that going on here. So for example, on this list here, I'm seeing this item right here. I can see there's not a ton of that orange highlighting where Amazon's not on the listing a bunch. So I want to open up like the Adidas page right here. We can see these are $42 over at Adidas for these, the Light Racer 5.0. I can also see here's the listing that we found just based on this storefront searching right here. We can see right here, we got the Adapt 5.0. And I also noticed we've got these black ones right here. These are the ones that are going to be $42 for us. And when we plug that into Keep It down here, again, I'm just going to do the same exact color filtering where it's typing in the color name. So this one right here is black gray. We just want to make sure we're filtered down to that black gray right there. And then I really just want to see the most expensive sizes of this color, right? Because the cheap sizes, we're probably not going to make too much on something like this. So these are 90 bucks. So we would be making money at 90 bucks right there. So those would be very solid. 6.5s right there. So those might be the wides. I'm not sure if we can get our hands on those, but these are 73. So there could be some profit on those right there. Yeah, I'm not seeing any of the wide options there. These, however, the 6.5s, if we're paying 42 bucks for them right now, the price on Amazon is 73. Super close on ROI, but let's see if we can get there with that discounted gift card. So we got 5% back from Raise. That gets us super, super close. And since we also get 9% cash back today, this would probably be another thing I'd probably go ahead and pull the trigger on here. It's a little bit risky since the previous price was so much lower. We're at break even. Our best case scenario here is that we sell at like 82. Our best case scenario, we make 21 bucks. Our worst case scenario, we end up losing $1. That's not a bad kind of bet to take, right? Your best case scenario is way better than the potential downside of losing $1 on this item. So again, we can go ahead and check data offers here, include historical. And yeah, I see lots of sellers making some pretty quick sales right there. See this seller making a couple sales. So it's not going to sell 1,000 times a month, but here's another item you could probably buy 10 to 20 units of at that current price. We're going to be making $13 a piece. Even if we only buy 10 pairs, we got another 130 bucks in our pocket right there. So where do we want to even start looking for products to sell on Amazon in the first place? A great place to start is big website sales. Like today, I noticed there is a big sale going on Nike.com, for example. And then since we've got Mother's Day coming up as well, there's going to be a ton of sales coming up. Father's Day, Memorial Day, back to school, 4th of July, all that type of stuff is going to make massive opportunities for coupons like this to start popping up, where we can see, I think Nike has a 20% sale on all women's items. So let's just go ahead and dive into the women's sale items here and we'll start finding some products. So looking at this page here, it looks like we've got about 1,400 items that we could potentially sell on Amazon, but there's some quick tricks that we'll dive into to show you how to find the items that are going to be actually good way faster. First things I'm going to be doing, typically when you're sourcing, you only want to be sourcing at the absolute lowest cost that's ever possible, right? It makes total sense that the lower the price you can buy it for, the more profit you're going to be making in the long run. And so on these items, I'm probably only going to open up the ones where it also has that 20% off code. Some of them do, some of them don't. And so I definitely want to focus on the ones that I know I can get super cheap. Or if I start seeing any of these that have a really big percent discount, we might be able to check those out as well. Let's just go ahead and start open up some listings here. And we'll see which of these are on Amazon. And let's just go ahead and start with these. So what we're looking for on these listings is whether or not we can find the exact same item on Amazon for about twice the cost that we can pay for it, right? After we factor in all of our discounts here, we got a coupon here. We've also got, it looks like 13% cash back or 10% cash back today. So that's a nice big bonus as well. And we want to make sure that we're buying these items for about half what we can sell them for, right? So the next thing that I want to do is go ahead and hit the SellerAmp button up here in the top right. This is the first paid product research tool that you'll need to start finding stuff to sell on Amazon. And in this example, when I pull that title there, we can see we found, looks like the size 11.5 is off on its own here. It is a 1.7 million sales rank. So that tells me that it is probably not the fastest seller in the world, specifically just this color though. I do see this version right here looks very similar to those. So we just want to start opening up these listings here and seeing if we can find any that are cheap enough enough basically, right? And I'm also just doing a quick check to see which of these colors have coupons and all that good stuff. Let's see. It's also usually a good idea to check like the more basic styles. So this is pretty classic style there. It says we want to see our price in bags. So let's go ahead and check that out. So this example here, it looks like we're buying those for $72. Ideally, we'll start seeing much bigger discounts on some of these items here, but we can still do a quick dive in here because all we're looking for on this item is to see if there are any super expensive specific colors or sizes that we can sell for way more on Amazon. So what I want to do here is go down to Keepa. This is the other paid product research tool that you'll want to sell on Amazon. This is also 20 bucks a month. And down here on like the variations chart, I want to go ahead and just filter by the highest new current price. So all these different colors and sizes, a lot of those I think we have on the website right now. The most expensive we have is 125 bucks. So at 125 bucks, we need to be paying about $72 to be profitable. Let's see if this size is in stock. It looks like it actually is here. So we want to check those out for sure. So those are size 5.5. They're selling for 125 right now. Down here on the new offer count, I can see a good amount of sellers hopping in and off of this listing. So that shows me that this item is probably actually selling at least a little bit. I doubt it's the fastest seller in the world just because it is decently expensive. Probably not a super popular color on this listing, but we do have them in stock over here. So these right here, yeah, we've got all the sizes in stock. We're buying them for 73 bucks. Plus we have a 20% coupon. So $73 times 0.80 because we have 20% off. We're buying these for 58 bucks. We're going to sell them for, that seems a little high. I guess right now our competition's at 135. We can see some sales happening back here at 129 though, 129 right there. So that's a 75% ROI. I think worst case, if you really just had to lower your prices for whatever reason, it just wasn't selling, you could literally lower your prices by $40 here to encourage some sales and you're still making $19 in profit on this item. So this one looks pretty good. What we want to do to see if this size is popular at all is go ahead and check the variations down here on SellerAmp. So we can press check and that's going to start pulling some of these reviews to see how many times people actually buy this color. Let's see, color right there. What we're looking for is the pearl white. Yeah, so it's the least popular color on this variation. And we can also see size wise how popular are 5.5s. Not very popular at all. I'm not seeing any reviews left for them, so definitely not the fastest seller, but this is still something you could probably test a couple units of, 3 to 5 units of, especially since the ROI was so good at our current price. You have so much wiggle room. It's worth taking a risk to me. Something like this was a size 6. So let's see, was the size 6 any more popular? That would be a good thing to look for. Yeah, so the size 6 is way more popular. So that's 10% of the sales on this listing are estimated to be going to the size 6, and then a little bit of the sales are going to this color. So that size 6 probably sells even better than that 5.5 here. We can also check and see, here's like an all black one. Not sure if we have that one. There's also like an all white one there. We do have that one. To see price in bag. So I'm going to assume it's probably 72 bucks. And if it is profitable, then we'll look a little bit deeper. But if it's not, then there's no reason to dig and see if that's our real price, if we can get a coupon, that kind of thing. So 72 bucks right there. So at the current price, we would be making some money. So it's 128 bucks right there. Seems like the price is also hopping down to 120. So if we're at 120, it's a little bit less profitable, especially than I like to be looking at women's shoes here. There's also, it says it's like a size 40. So people are going to be probably a little bit confused on European sizing versus American there. So I'd probably skip something like that. There's also more of these pearl shoes right here. So you can see these are going anywhere from 100 bucks to 110 or so. Let's see, if we sell it for just like 100, we were buying those for 58. Again, that's a little bit thin on the ROI there. So this is the price on the size 7 and size 9.5. Those are going to be more popular and they also have a couple ratings. So these probably sell even better than those other ones we looked at. If we sell them for, like right now, the current price is 104. So that could make them pretty interesting. So $21 profit, that might be worth the risk to me. And then that one's up at 113. We could make some sales. That's a $30 profit. So these two other sizes here of those pearl, I'd probably buy 5 units of each of those. And on each of those, you're making $100 to $150 on those 5 units. So not too bad, right? We're a few minutes into the recording here. We've made, I'd say, probably $300 to $400 profit. So let's see if we can find any more gems. I'm looking at these other items here, right? So I hope you can see the process, right? So all we need is Keepa, SellerAmp. We're going to use SellerAmp to find the listings as fast as possible. We're going to do it on this one right away. We can see here's some of those that look very similar. It's also a good idea to open up all the possible listings for the product. You never know when one listing might way better pricing somewhere else and vice versa, right? So I see, like, for example, here's the Court Vision Low. That's the exact same shoe. Here's a sports flat. It's calling it a different thing, but it's a completely different listing. And sometimes you'll see the same color on different listings and one of them sells for way more. So that's why it's so important to use this little like SellerAmp lookup trick here, find all the different possible listings that it could be on and then go from there versus using like an automated sourcing software or one of those. Like, you're going to miss all the best products. So that's why kind of the manual method, doing the legwork that other people are not willing to do, is really going to pay off. So digging through here, I also want want to see which of these colors are also on sale. So I see like the blue and then this greenish one. So we might not have too much to look at here, but we can do a quick check. And this is going to be a good example where, since we know the two colors, we have this white one and then we also have this malachite one, we can actually just go down here to variations, go to color, and then just paste that color name. So I grabbed that from right there and I paste it down here on the variations chart. Now that's just going to show me all of the different sizes of that color. And let's see. So like the most expensive size is the 5.5. If we are selling these for 110 right there, what are we buying these for? We're buying them for 65 plus a 20% off code. So 65 times 0.80. So this one would be profitable. That's a size 5. No ratings though, so probably not the fastest seller in the world. ROI is not quite as good as that other one where it was maybe worth taking a risk. Typically, I like to see at least like a rating or two if I'm going to pull the trigger and buy something. So our most expensive variation that actually has some ratings going on, so it might actually be some sales. That one has a price of $97. So 97 bucks. I actually like these. 42% ROI. Couple, like one rating here. This one's got 2 recent ratings as well. Let's see. So that one's at 80 bucks. Probably don't want to sell that. This one up here at anywhere from 96 to 110 recently. This is just basically like that new price chart here. So I might pull the trigger on another 5 units of these 6.5s here. And so yeah, just for the sake of profit example here, if we buy 5 units of those, we're making another 100 bucks, maybe closer to 80 after you factor in shipping. And if the price drops at all or anything like that on you, always a good idea to be thinking about that kind of stuff. So after that, I think they got a little bit too cheap for that variation, but now we can check this other color right here. So let's go down here to variations. We're just gonna do the same thing, right? Except this time I want to see all the sizes for this other like greenish color. And this one also we're buying way cheaper. The problem is I don't see any ratings happening for this color at all. So we'd really need to be profitable. And I can show you a trick to see if there are real sales happening as well. So let's see, like the size 8, we didn't have any ratings, but the price has been pretty good. The profit is there. So let's do a quick check and see if there is actually sales. This one's the same story. Was it like 83 bucks? So if we're buying for 83, yeah, we're making 21 bucks profit. So we would want to look at both of these. And instead of looking at the variations chart, that's what we've been looking at. We can look at a couple things, right? So new offer count. If I see a bunch of sellers hopping in and off the listing, that shows me that people are getting in, selling out, and new people are hopping on and selling out on their listing. I don't see a ton of that here. I do see some sellers hopping in and out here, so those could be sales. But I also want to check the data offers tab down here. And this is going to show me like the real stock count and price of different items over time. So for example, like right here, I can see that there was an FBA seller who was priced at $90 and they had 4 in stock. And somewhere between March 19th-ish and April 19th, over basically the course of a month, they sold 4 pairs of this shoe because they went from 4 in stock down to 0. And I don't really see much else beyond that proves sales. So we could take a risk there. If you're like a newer seller, you're just trying to get the ball rolling, buy a couple units of that, see if it sells. I personally probably wouldn't buy that one. It sells a little bit slow for my taste. We can do the same thing on this size 6.5 here though. So data offers include historical. And then when we do that, I can see a little bit more evidence of some sales happening here. So I can see them going 432. I can see this seller going 432 right there. So they're making sales. Here's an FBA seller who made a sale. So this one's selling a little bit faster. Based on this, I might actually think about placing a test order of maybe 5 units here, mostly just because our ROI is so solid. If this was like 35% ROI or closer to that kind of minimum that you typically like to look for me, that minimum is about 35% ROI. And so the closer it is to that, the less risks you want to take basically. Something like this, so you could probably buy 5 units of. You'd probably sell over the course of a month if I had to guess, and there's another 100 bucks in profit for you. So that is probably all the profitable items we're going to find on that particular listing. We can also do a quick check though. Like I was saying, sometimes you'll find much better listings on completely different product pages. I'm not seeing any like that green or blue that we were looking at though. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see any of that on this listing either. So that's totally cool. So yeah, we can keep on chugging along here, see what else we can find. And by the way, if you want to see even more product research sauce that we don't put anywhere on YouTube, it's some really high powered strategies, plus a full step-by-step guide to scaling your Amazon business to $10,000 a month. Make sure you get registered for the next free class that we do. The link is down below for these. Super fun. They're about 2 hours, plus we do some Q&A, some structured presentation. And this is our best free 2 hours of content. So even if it's after April 24th when you're watching this video, check the link down below and you'll be able to register for the next free Amazon masterclass. So these Pegasus 40s right here, I want to see which of these we get on sale. Okay, so a couple different versions here. Also, don't underestimate like the weird versions of these products. On this, I was noticing extra wides are on sale. Those can be really solid when you are selling on Amazon. It's like the more specific stuff, like the harder to find type products tend to be really good, just because a lot of times you have to buy it online to get like the right thing for some people. So let's start diving in here. A lot of times as I'm opening up this menu here, I'm looking for the BSR to be under about 150 150,000. I'm wondering if the Pegasus 40 is a little bit too new to have a lot of Amazon presence, because I see the 39 is right there. It's fairly popular, but I'm not seeing any big super popular listings for the 40s yet. This is probably it, to be honest. Decent amount of sales split between all these different sizes and everything though. So we'll do a quick check here, go down to variations and see if we have any expensive, at least maybe a couple ratings on any of these expensive variations too. Let's see, like 116 is the highest price of a variation that has any ratings. A good way to quickly check and see which specific types of shoes on these listings are actually selling. I'm also seeing like this coconut milk one that we had. I think it was like earish. Yeah. So we did have that one, but they're just not quite cheap enough. We're going to be buying these for 80 bucks. Prices over here are like 120, 100 bucks, that kind of thing. So there's not a lot of meat left on the bones there. We can go ahead and check out this listing here. So these XCs, I'm not seeing too many coupons. I only see a coupon on this specific size here. This is a great example of showing you how to use another trick that I like to use, which is a Google image search. So all I do is I right click that product and then I press search image with Google. And then it's going to show me a bunch of other sites where, number one, a bunch of other sites where I could potentially find it and source it. So if you're worried that you might not have the cheapest cost before you pull the trigger on something, try this out, see if there's a different site that it can take you to. But I'm also looking for the Amazon.com listing here. If there's a perfect product picture match, it'll take me to that listing. And in this example, I'm just not seeing it, which doesn't surprise me. Typically, especially with like shoes and stuff, the more classic styles like the black and whites, the blues, the grays, all that kind of stuff is going to sell really well, versus this that's kind of got some funky coloring going on. I would say a little bit, it's not standard. And then yeah, let's see if we can find anything here. So we've got some like weightlifting shoes or something here, and we're going to plug these in and see what listings we got for them. So the Essential 2 right there could be on that listing. I think that might be the men's listing, but we'll still see if the Amazon listings may be a little messed up, and I'm not seeing any other pictures of them. So let's see. Size wise, yes, this is a bit of a weird listing. I think women's big kid running shoe, these got lost on this listing. So it doesn't mean you can't sell it, just means that it might sell a little bit slower than if the listing was like correct. Let's see if we even have any of those colors though. So I think we have these, or I guess the check mark's a little bit different here. Maybe try our Google image hack here. Let's pop that open, search image with Google, especially when it's a very like distinct style of shoe. It'll help you find it, and bang, here we go. So we found the image for these shoes, and I actually love this as an example because they are currently out of stock. Let's see. This page is also a little bit weird though. So let me do some digging. We'll see if we can find the actual page here. So I did a quick little trick here to find this listing. I think this is actually a great example of something that is currently out of stock on Amazon, but might have some potential to sell. So what you want to do, if you ever run into something like this, I don't know if I've ever come across this on a video, but it's a really good example. Grab the ASIN from the top of the URL up there. And then we want to go over to just like the Keepa website, or we could probably also use like the SellerAmp website. Just go ahead and enter that in there. And then it shows me all of the different variations and stuff. So I think some of these maybe are completely not for sale on Amazon right now. But if we check out like the ratings, we can see that a couple of them actually have sold in the past. There's also just something a little bit weird about the listing. I'm not exactly sure why like the product facing side was not working, but all these are decently expensive. This has 4 ratings. So it has sold. It was at $98 on this size 8.5 here. So we were buying these for 55 bucks with a 20% off coupon. So if we're selling them for 98 bucks and we're buying them for 45, that's a really good ROI. It follows that rule of halves by a lot. So I'd imagine we're making about a 60 to 70% ROI on that. Since it's like a weird listing, is not in stock right now, it's tough to calculate our fees on there, but since it follows that rule so well, we'd definitely be making some money here. And you're buying the type of item that we had to do a little bit of legwork to actually find. It's not for sale on Amazon right now, and so we could be the only guy making money on that listing for a second, I believe. You buy 5 or 10 units of that, have a really solid ROI, and there's some more winning products, right? We could also look through some of these variations here. This one also has some ratings there, and it's at recently like $105. New price right there is at 98, so it would also be profitable. So yeah, there's some more gems that we found there. We could probably estimate another, conservatively, just because the listing's like a little bit weird here, probably another $200 to $300 in profit.
So I really hope you enjoyed this sourcing marathon. If you found it useful, please hit the subscribe button. Also, make sure you get a 2-week free trial of SellerAmp and Boxem, which are 2 tools that you're going to use to actually create your Amazon business. Let me know down below in the comment section if you have any questions, comments, anything like that. Always happy to answer those down below. But I really appreciate you watching this video, and I will see you next time.